Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. In this tutorial we'll look more on Advanced Function Editor, and we'll begin by creating simple shapes, this sphere and a cube. We'll use them so we can preview how the materials will apply to them. And let's select our cube right now. And we'll go to Material Editor, and to do this you can just go to your tab aspect and just double time click or right click and select Edit Material. If by default you will come to the basic Material Editor, just click on Advanced, so we'll switch to Advanced mode. And to the Access Function Editor, you have it several ways. One, you can go to like color production or bump, right click and select Edit Functions, or you can go to any where you can see this like lighting arrow. It's accessing to the drive with function. You can click on this and you can access also the function editor. It does have it actually different way you accessing this, and a different is, let's go right now to the bump. We'll click Edit Function, and right now we'll go to bump node. And one thing you notice, if we even switch to different, we still access and we can edit every other one aspect here, but this node where we access it, it's still bold and highlighted. So this is our master node that we access from. If we're going right now and try to save this function, it will save only this line which was under bump, so it won't save these functions. Be careful when you do this, because sometimes you go inside and you start make a bunch of different modifications, and what's happening, you're going to save, but you don't save what you think you are was modified. So be sure that if you're going inside and with intent to save that function, you access through the master node that you want to save. So same like right here, if we're going, you notice the color is still highlighted, so this is our master node. Okay, also till we here in a function editor, so let's look on our bars, and on the left this bar, we'll check this after when we start going to our functions. Top one is representing our views and how we're accessing. So let's go look first on our graph options, and you can access by right click with your mouse. And here's options: show all in preview, preview only nodes and colors, and hide all. So if we click show all, you will notice we have right here on that step preview how its materials will look or what the function will apply it. And it is a nice way to do it, so you can very fast jump and preview. But when you have too many of them, it's look a little bit more cluttery, so it depends on your how you like it, if you like view one way or another. Next, show arrows on the links, and if you notice right here we have little arrows and showing which way it's flow. Even it's mostly going from top to bottom, but sometimes it may change when you start moving them. So it does help you, and just normally keep it on. Show link as a straight lines, and many people like this way, and reason is why, because when you start with parameters you can have it, but it just again depends on what you like it. Personally, I like the go straight, it's a little bit cluttery, but again, when you start using with your enable your node, so what is meaning your parameters, you can preview that straight lines, it's actually much helpful. An example is, and let's look example. So when we go to let's create right here just node, and you notice we'll have it now appear on the side. We have it our different inputs. So if we look right here, we have it our wavelengths, roughness, and they represent right here. So instead, click on this and jump. You can go straight from here and connect them. The one problem is only with this, or you need to be very familiar, know which one, or you need going kind of over and it will tell you what it is, so you can actually go grab and connect your origin, for example, right here with your normals. Okay, and again, if you actually don't have a straight line, you can still accessing, but they're not so notable or visible to you. And again, you can disable and you won't see them. So in that case, you'll just need to go inside and link through this function driven right here inside. Okay. So this one next is a cut, copy, and paste. This is straightforward. You select one, you can copy, you can paste, and you can do all the other stuff. Okay. Undo, redo, then normal going. And this one is actually very useful. For example, right now we zoom out and hard to see for us. If you click, it will put everything in frame, all of yours. This one will just zoom on specific area. Again, your zoom in, zoom out is straightforward. Other things is display the function graphs, and you can see representation, and it does helpful when you work on a bit more advanced, and we'll look on this a little bit in the future. Next, it's a preview output observer. I use kind of all the time, so it's put right here. So let's look on the function observer. What it does, it's showing to us the final what we will have it. So if we go right here and we modify, let's say very colorful, you can see it's how our material will look on the end. So same if we're going to sandbox materials, you can notice we have it more right there. Actually, you know what? Let me create something a bit more visible, the bumps. So right here you can see preview your material much easier, and I do like this a lot and use it all the time. So in that case, you don't need to jump between this one to your object and see how it will look. So you can preview just right here. Right now, let's look on this position. We have a kind of top bar and bottom bar, and what they call top one is output and bottom is an input. In another way, it's easy if you look on this one. This top is kind of environment that will affect your object outside, and this one is related to your object, to your materials, which is influencing from inside. So the time and orientation and slope is what environment will be affecting, which is this one is a properties of your inside the object. So input or inside, it's yours once, and this is your outside effect. But again, it's just helpful to me, and for some people maybe it's a little bit different. So let's look on our output, and we'll have it. Some of them you notice it will says when output, and it have it named vector or the number. What is happening? You have several different data output. The red will represent vector, the blue will represent number, the green, okay, let's actually, switch to straight line so they will be brighter. The green will represent the color, purple, which we don't have it here yet, represent texture, and a gray is undefined. And sometimes it's nice because you look and you cannot connect them. For example, you cannot connect color green ones to the green or to the blue. That is very helpful in visual, very nice to adjust. Also, the vector one, it's same from the math. It's showing the direction and orientation, and numbers. It's a value mostly from 1 to -1. Okay, so this is a simple explanation for those ones, but let's go position. It's very straightforward. What it does, it is, okay, let's go right here. Let's click OK, and we'll set to world standard. The position, it will represent, if you notice the color is changed, its position with material located. And based on your mapping mode, for example, world standard, if we switch to object standard, which is mapped to our object, you notice colors doesn't change because the function evaluated at a point of the related to the object, not to the world. So if we go here and we'll set to the world standard, So when it's have the position, okay, we can delete that one as well, so it doesn't confuse us. When I take position, and that point it will evaluation done for the function based on where the object located related to the world. Okay. Also, even we have it mapping right here, which is affecting everything. You still have it another option. So if you look, let's go create bumps. Create right here, and you have it in your input. You have this position options. So what this does, it is creating for us. Okay, let's delete this and link to the position options. It's similar to what we have it before, and we can just select object standard or world standard just specifically for that option, like for the bumps. So we'll go right here on the bumps, and let's do decrease so we can preview. And even right here we'll set a world standard, which mapping will affect colors, highlights, transparency, everything except the bumps. Because if you remember, in the bumps we said the position go to object standard. Okay, and that is very nice. In that case, you can look and you can see a lot of possibilities for the terrain when you want to change color depending on altitude, but you don't want it them change the bitmap. This is more now same as the normals. Normals is very interesting function, and well, sorry, it's a very interesting output. And from us, what this provide, it is orientation. So let's go right now to here. We delete it, and we'll connect that to the normals. Actually, replace with a Pelican noise. Reduce size. We'll delete, so it won't distract us. And you notice right here we have our colors. Okay, and let's go right now. Click right there. Click on this one. And one thing, if you notice when we're rotating, what is happening, the colors on the side start changing, and they do changing depend on the orientation, because it's going from the position world standard. So if we go inside, we change to object standard, and at this point the colors is staying to the specific side because it's based on the object standard. This is actually have a lot of interesting possibilities. One, you can assign specific basically material to the side of your object. So some people can say, hey, can I have it one material on one side and another on another one? With using our normals, which is provided orientation and mapped it to the your object standard, you can actually assign specific colors, or we can mix it, and we'll see more how complex we can go with this, to different textures and other things to the specific side of your object. Okay. Also, when we have it in normals, so let's disconnect this one for now. On the normals, you have it also the normals options when you can map it to the object of the world. Straightforward with this. And again, a couple things, when every time you do something, you can always go back and you can preview how that will look for you. Okay, and currently, if you notice, our colors is based on the object. So let's go to edit material again, and we'll just jump back and forward all the time probably through this. Okay, next what we have, it is altitude, and altitude actually it is output in a numbers, same like slope. And what's happening with this, okay, let's delete this one. We'll go right here, because if you notice we have the blue one, and it's actually in a view it's very nice, because if it's a number you can see only the circles, blue numbers. That's why we can connect pop up. So when we cannot click to the vectors. Okay, we connect it to this one, and right here you notice that color is changing based on the altitude locating. So we have right here, we can move it Okay, let me make it a bit more presentable maybe. Actually, you know what, let's delete cube and let's go to our sphere. So we'll now start using our sphere. So we'll go to colors. Let's load it multicolor so we can preview. Edit function. Okay, we can delete that one. So we can connect to our edit right here, and we can, if you want, we can expand a little bit more on the colors. And this is actually very cool toys to play now. So your colors will be based on the world standard. So when we start switching, actually this is not the greatest example. Based on altitude. But what's happening when your object is changing, and we'll see in the future, we start having how high is object will apply the different kind of colors. Okay, and probably take my word for now, but we come back to this altitude when we start work on terrains, and you'll see how we start applying the different materials based on the altitude on the terrains. Okay, so let's right now go to our slope, and slope is similar to only the angle of the positioning. Okay, orientation. Think about the orientation. It's same as our normal what we're using before, only except this is will give us output in a number. Okay, let's reset it. Okay, so this is give it us number output. We can go directly to the function, except the normal would giving us output in a vector. So we'll need convert vector to the number to use in our colors representation. And they're not kind of, they even think it's duplicate and why you want to use it normal, but in many times when we want to randomize and using our noise or a fractal, we want to actually vector input, and a normal is what we will use for this one. And when we just need go straight to the colors, we'll use just orientation for the numbers, go right here. And that one is very similar to what we have before, except on the sphere you cannot really see that well, because the positioning, its calculation of evaluation function happen on each dot on the sphere. So, and of course this dot it's orientating towards that, it's always will keep it same value. So when we're going rotating, you don't see it, but if we're going with the cube will change because the side is orientating 1. So when we have it, its angle is changing, or orientation of that side, it does change. So overall, how to say, it's similar to other one, and I do like this one, and we'll use a lot of with our other stuff. You will notice that. Okay, so let's go right now back to our function editor. The time is kind of very nice, because this is will use it. It is for the waves, for animated materials, bump map, or any other things. And when we start creating waves, water, or clouds or other things, we'll start using this time output one numbers. Okay, so we'll look on this our top ones, and of course if we look more on the our input nodes, for some reason actually that's very interesting, because if you're going inside, you notice this is will say right here output number, what is given to us, and that's what instead, but there will be input nodes. Okay, so and right here we'll look on some of this UV coordinates. It's for your UV mapping, and when we have a bit more complex model, we'll look on this. Next we have two other kind of separating groups, and let's in our next tutorial we'll look on these ones, and also we'll cover the third group one. Okay, and thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please come visit us on the web is www.vuetutorials.com.